Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Prashant Kumbhar, and I am Associate Professor in the Department of Medical Oncology in Mahatma Gandhi Medical Sciences. So today I am going to discuss about chemical carcinogenesis. So what is chemical carcinogenesis? We will discuss. So my discussion points outline is introduction of the chemical carcinogenesis, classification, mechanism, and what are the carcinogens in our daily life, and use of plastics, and at the end take home message. So first of all, we will discuss about what is chemical carcinogens. So any discrete chemical compound which has been shown to cause cancer in animal or any animal studies. So these are known as chemical carcinogens, and hundreds of individual compounds have been shown to induce cancers. Many thousands of additional compounds are suspected carcinogens, and many are commonly used in laboratory operations, shops, and in art studios. So which classes of chemicals tend to be carcinogens? So most of them are epoxide like ethylene oxide, propylene oxide, organohalogen compounds, vinyl chloride, carbon tetrachloride, hydrogens, dimethyl hydrogen, N-nitroso compounds, aromatic amine, benzidine, aniline, aromatic hydrocarbons, benzene. So how do these carcinogens enter into the body? So through the skin absorptions, through the ingestion, through the inhalation, and the mechanism behind how these carcinogens causes cancer is because these chemical carcinogens undergo metabolic activation by cytochrome P450 or other metabolic pathways, and react with DNA or other and alter epigenetic mechanism. And DNA is considered the ultimate target for most of the carcinogens to cause mutations or gross chromosomal changes. And the formation of DNA adducts occurs by binding of chemicals to DNA. And these carcinogen DNA adducts combination leads to base mutation, gross chromosomal changes, and these can cause base substitution, deletion, insertion, and during DNA replication. So if we see the carcinogens in our day-to-day life, so the bread we eat in the morning breakfast, if bread is charred food which create hydrocyclic aromatic amines known as carcinogens. Even dark toast is also suspected in carcinogens category. Refined white flour, that is also a type of carcinogens, and this is a common ingredient in processed food, and its excess carbohydrate content is a serious cause for concern. Microwave popcorn, this is also a carcinogens. Microwave popcorn contains PFOA, that is perfluorooctanoic acid, and it is a likely carcinogens. The fruit ripening agents like carbide, calcium carbides also comes into carcinogen category. Because this calcium carbide and popularly known as masala has been banned under PFA rules in 1955. This calcium carbide is colorless when pure but grayish white to black in color otherwise with garlic-like odor. And there are some adulterations in our day-to-day food, like adulteration in oil, adulteration in pickle, adulteration in daily eatables like turmeric, dal and pulses, green chilies, green peas, other vegetables. And our daily milk is also has been adulterated with some chemicals some of time because one of the report that shows that 68% of the milk and milk products in India are not as per the FSSAI standard. So how can we prevent these carcinogens entering into our body, entering into our day-to-day activities, entering into our food? So prevention is Prevention is a essential strategy where we can cut down our exposure to these carcinogens and how we can save ourselves from the exposure of these carcinogens. So take home messages. So exposure to environmental carcinogens may contribute significantly to causation of human cancers, and the food adulteration is increasing day by day, and it is also one of the reasons of increasing incidence of cancer. Don't cook food in plastic containers. Use glass, porcelain, enamel covered metal or stainless steel pot, pans and containers for food and beverages. Wash fruit and vegetables in lukewarm water before eating. Use locally grown fruits and vegetables. Remove and discard outer layer of fruits and vegetables. So that's how we can prevent overexposure to these carcinogens. We cannot prevent or 100% prevent our exposure to carcinogens, but by these measures we can somehow maximum 60 to 70% we can prevent our exposure to these chemical carcinogens. Thank you.